Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Nadun Sirivardhana. Let's have a look at the headlines. Sri Lanka holds 7th round of bilateral talks with Pakistan. Government budget has decreased by 64%, Subject Minister announces. News in detail. The 7th round of bilateral political consultations between Sri Lanka and Pakistan was successfully concluded at the Pakistani Foreign Ministry in Islamabad on Tuesday. The consultations were co-chaired by Foreign Secretary Aruni Vijayawardene of Sri Lanka and the Foreign Secretary of Pakistan Mohammad Cyrus Sajjad Kasi. The discussions comprehensively reviewed the current status of bilateral relations and explored various areas of cooperation including the economy and trade, defense and security, education, culture, media and sports, consular matters, agriculture and technology. Both sides emphasized their cooperation at multilateral and regional forums, with the Sri Lankan delegation expressing gratitude to Pakistan for its steadfast support over the years. Both countries also stressed the need to increase connectivity and bilateral trade, particularly air connectivity, to boost economic growth. The two countries further agreed to cooperate in addressing challenges of transnational organized crime such as drug trafficking, which impacts both nations. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said that the central bank has been able to establish a strong, globally recognized monetary policy framework ensuring transparency and accountability. The central bank governor said that this was enabled by eliminating government representation in decision making and the establishment of the reputed flexible inflation targeting regime framework. Governor Nandalal Veerasinghe said this, speaking at the National Management Accounting Conference held in Colombo recently.
The independence of the central bank has been reinforced by limiting what we call monetary financing, which is something related to taxation, where when government wouldn't have sufficient taxation, then government used to basically tendency to increase monetary financing to bridge the gap, but it's no longer visible. Then also eliminating government representations in the decision making, thereby strengthening monetary policy formulation, the governance and the accountability of monetary policy. That's the important one. And also in addition, we have the formally recognized flexible inflation targeting regime as a monetary policy framework, which is most successful, best monetary policy implementation framework that we have seen in practice in a lot of countries, including pioneered by New Zealand and then Australia, Canada, UK, and also emerging market countries like Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, all these countries now moving to us. We have also now established a very strong monetary policy framework with accountability, credibility, and also with regaining the anchoring inflation expectations.
Speaking further at the event, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said that state-owned enterprises must be transformed into market-oriented institutions in order to reduce the burden on government budget and release more bank exposures to the private sector.
To make the state enterprises into productive and market-oriented institutions that we talk about cost recovery pricing, this is crucial to reduce the burden on government budget and release resources in the banking sector, where there are huge exposures to banking sector by state enterprises, to release those resources from the state enterprises exposures to the private sector, and also to productive sectors in the economy, rather than lending to loss-making state enterprises to meet their liquidity requirements. So that's, I think, there are a lot of reforms that have been already done. We are moving towards the right path there. While divesting non-strategic investment, this is a very kind of a debated topic in Sri Lanka. Divestment means someone is investing in state enterprises. Investment does not mean the selling off and taking the profit institution somewhere else. It's all about putting new money and having change the share ownership, either the private or public, and put more money, make institution more efficient, and provide public support services to the public in a much more competitive manner. That we need to understand what is the divestment of external enterprises means much more efficient economy. The government should intervene in the markets only to address market failures and to ensure proper regulations of markets if required, not to do business to the state-owned enterprises.
Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. The State Minister of Finance, Dr. Ranjit Siambalapitiya, announced that Sri Lanka's budget deficit has reduced by 64% in the first 5 months of 2024. The announcement came during a ceremony organized by the Customs Department for awarding certificates to authorized economic operators in Colombo recently. Dr. Siambalapitiya stated that compared to the first 5 months of the previous year, the budget deficit has decreased from 1,014 billion rupees as of May 31, 2023 to 366 billion rupees for the same period of this year. The minister also emphasized the crucial role of the Sri Lankan customs in achieving the country's revenue targets. Despite the suspension of vehicle imports, which has traditionally been a major source of revenue, the Customs Department has managed to achieve 708 billion rupees out of the 1,537 billion rupees revenue target set for 2024. During the ceremony, certificates were awarded to 31 leading institutions in Sri Lanka, allowing them to conduct their import and export activities without custom inspections. Speaking at the event, the Director General of Sri Lanka Customs, Sarath Nones, said that even though digitalization was adapted as a temporary solution during the pandemic period, it cannot be used as a model for perfect digitalization. He said that digitalization requires a robust framework with rigorous standards and secure processes, and that the digital identity will be an integral part of its implementation.
Implementing digitalization is complex and requires rigorous standards and secure processes. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we made temporary adjustments, such as accepting some supporting documents via mobile phone photos to ensure continuity of service. However, this cannot be considered a full implementation of digitalization. During that period, there was significant risk to our objectives, including revenue collection, but our priority had to be the prevailing health risks in the country as well as globally. Interpreting this special situation as a model of perfect digitalization oversimplifies the challenges involved. True digitalization demands a robust framework, and we have been diligently working towards that goal. Digital signatures are an integral part of this process and are progressing alongside our ongoing risk management and customs modernization measures.
The Council for Business with Britain held its 24th annual general meeting at the Westminster House on Wednesday. Chief Executive Officer of HSBC Sri Lanka and Maldives, Mark Sojourner, has been elected as the new president of the CBB for the term of 2024 and 2025. In his address, Mark Sojourner emphasized the CBB's historical significance and its role in fostering strong trade relations between the UK and Sri Lanka. Sojourner also underscored the importance of leveraging the developing countries' trading scheme for more cost-effective trade opportunities. Outgoing President Tania Polonovita Vettamuni reflected on her tenure, addressing the challenges Sri Lanka has faced over the past 2 years. British High Commissioner Andrew Patrick expressed optimism about the future trade relationship between the UK and Sri Lanka. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The whole share price index gained 33.14 points to close at 11,439.70, and the S&P SL 20 gained 16.07 points to close at 3,281.62. The turnover was 0.7 billion rupees and over 25 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.